Alicia, this song is yours, so when you hear it call, then I'll come home and your love will be my biggest hit of all. I'm lying up here in the Hilton Hotel in Nashville, Tennessee, thinking of you, Alicia, and how good you were to me. Your love was like the roses that blossomed and bloomed each spring. Each day the sun would shine. Your love was a beautiful thing. But I left you and your true love, and like a fool I did go to make a lot of money and be someone that everyone knows. And now I've got fame and fortune, but it's not like I thought it would be. I'd rather have your love if you can forgive a fool like me. 'Cause Alicia, the roses don't bloom without you near. For every sunny day without you, there's at least a cloudy year. I'd like to take all the songs that I will ever sing and trade them in for your sweet love and a golden wedding ring. Yes, Alicia, this song is yours, so when you hear it call, then I'll come home and your love will be my biggest hit of all. Yes, I'll come home and your love will be my greatest hit of all.
What would he say? Where would he go? What would he say? And where would he go? In the blazing light of the rising sun, in the fading light of the setting sun. It is true he did not know much at age 18, except he knew enough to take his daddy's old beat-up suitcase into his hand and head himself on out to the wide open road, far from the utter boredom of his mama and pop's hamburger and hot dog stand. He also knew from once reading in some book that Chicago could be more than enough for any kind of want-to-be hobo. It was wild as could be, and wicked to its core, and brutal in so many ways, but still a hell of a heroic place to go. So as fate would have it, he headed way up north, and became a free spirit in a city some poet had so highly acclaimed. There he ran with the wolves and he slept with the dogs, until he woke up to find that all bitches and sons of bitches were the same. What would he say at 23 that he would not have thought of at 21? And where in this world then would he go? In the blazing light of the rising sun, in the fading light of the setting sun. About then he found that he could rhyme you and true, and keep the beat when stringing together words like almost free from your memory. Soon he was told about the fortune he might find in singing his sad, sentimental songs in a small city in East Tennessee. So he took his old guitar and left for down south, his head full of riddles and rhymes and the high crimes that lovers commit in their youth. And soon, more quickly than he could ever believe, he hit it big, and millions got to humming his heart-wrenching versions of the truth. But the world kept turning, and soon it came to pass that in the blurred fury and flurry of just a few years his songs had become obsolete. Then they begged him to stay and do what legends do. But he could see no future in prolonging the shelf life of a priceless antique. What would he say at 33 that he would not have thought of at 31? And where in this world then would he go? In the blazing light of the rising sun, in the fading light of the setting sun. In time he chanced to see the maiden of his dreams, and deep within he felt a lot could be found in the arms of an innocent girl. So of course he was bound and determined to find just how far the true love of another could take him in this old, cold, and cruel world. He married her and began to settle down, to living in a cottage beside a babbling brook high up on the village green. He had this paradise outside of Birmingham, and sooner than he would ever thought he had his share of the American dream. But as years passed, he began to get restless. He got so he would sit outside in the darkness, and up at the stars he would stare. And out there he got tired of pondering his fate, and late one night he left his one true love and slipped away to only God knows where. What would he say at 43 that he would not have thought of at 41? And where in this world then would he go? In the blazing light of the rising sun, in the fading light of the setting sun. What would he say? He might say, for what good are words then really at all, those that almost always fall on deaf ears? And what good is there in saying anything that may not still be true in a few years? Or he might say, don't believe too much of what you read. Don't believe too much of what you see. Don't believe too much of what you're told. And don't believe too much of what you believe. He might or might not say a word that he would not have thought of at 41. But where in this world then would he go? In the blazing light of the rising sun, in the fading light of the setting sun. Some think he rambled and went back to Chicago to recapture the feeling of not giving a shit about any living thing. Some think he gambled on returning to Nashville and its moronic world of cutesy pie songbirds and sappy as crap dingalings. Some think in shambles he knocked on his true love's door, to beg like a dog for forgiveness, and be happy when she tossed him a bone. Some think he ambled on back to his old hometown, where his mind could be as narrow as the streets, and his heart as cold as the cobblestones. Some think a dam full of still waters cleansed his soul, and made him a good shepherd of some sheep from which he caught a bad case of the mange. Some think a bramble bush outside of Omaha gives him some shade in his grave, where he lies desperately waiting for some kind of change. What would he say at 43 that he would not have thought of at 41? And where in this world then would he go? In the blazing light of the rising sun, in the fading light of the setting sun. For there are 50 states and many foreign lands. There are high mountain peaks and silver seas of sand. There are roads to travel and wide rivers to cross. There are some great notions, but there is but one boss. Time is the taskmaster. It labors in the night. It rises with the sun and toils in sheer delight. It paints its grim portrait on every person's face. A mirror shows its power and total lack of grace. It always takes away all that all think they own. It starts with egg and sperm and ends with a last groan.
Last Will and Testament. As Walt said, I bequeath myself to the dirt, to grow from the grass I love. If you want me again, look for me under your boot soles. And I say, I giveth myself to the air, to climb as the wind lifts me. If you want me again, look for me in high pine trees. And I also say, I yieldeth myself to the sun, to play when the rain does flow. If you want me again, look for me in divine rainbows. For heaven is to be everywhere, and paradise is to be a part of all, like the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost, and like the archangels with their many ports of call.